The next presenters are from FukuiA Commercial High School, Team A, and Kosher Senior High School. The title is The Key to Opening Up a Bright Future.
We are from FukuiA Commercial High School in Japan.
And from Kosher Senior High School in Taiwan.
What do you think is a key to a happy future? We think it is education. In Japan and Taiwan, almost every child can get an education. But how about elsewhere in the world? In fact, 200 million children throughout the world cannot get an education. Of these uneducated children, about 70% are girls. That means 130 million girls cannot get an education. That is almost the same number as the current population of Japan and Taiwan combined. So, we focused on education for girls. First, we will talk about educational problems in developing countries.
The enrollment rates for primary education in countries such as Taiwan and Japan are almost the same for both men and women. However, in sub-Saharan Africa and some parts of South Asia, the enrollment rate of girls is much lower than that of boys. Why are girls unable to get an education? Why is there a gender gap? Reasons vary, but it is mainly because of poverty and child labor. Poor families are unable to pay for school expenses. Children, especially girls, are often forced to do difficult housework, such as carrying heavy buckets of water and working on their family farm.
Girls who don't go to school in such countries cannot get good jobs later in life. According to the Japan International Cooperation Agency, even if they get a job, they are unable to get stable work with a sustainable income because they lack the necessary skills. What's worse, in rural areas in Africa, about 125 million women in their early teens are forced to marry. These women are so young but have to endure premature marriage. Child marriage robs the girls of a chance to get a job. As a result, they don't have enough money, which means their children can't go to school either.
It is a harmful cycle for their families and communities. We thought of two ways to put an end to this cycle. What we propose first is that the Japanese and Taiwanese high school students teach these children ourselves. We will go to a country which has many children who have not received an education. There, the high school students will teach those children directly while staying in their community. It may cost a lot, but we can reduce the burden of travel and lodging expenses by getting support from the government or NPOs to add children.
The advantages of this plan are 1. Even poor children can receive an education free of charge. 2. They can learn general common sense that they don't learn at school. There are also advantages for high school students who choose to volunteer. These advantages are 1. We can learn the language and culture with the target country. 2. By looking at the current situation of uneducated people with our own eyes, we can appreciate the value of education. Also, we can ensure the safety of participating students by learning useful information from government warnings and websites.
Our second proposal is that we make picture books that can be used to help girls study. You may remember your parents reading picture books to you when you were a child, and how powerful this experience was for you. For children, colorful pictures and simple stories are interesting, and they can enjoy reading the easy-to-understand stories. Also, we high school students would make these books ourselves, so the children wouldn't have to pay for them.
Reading picture books is also valuable because it's a chance for these children to learn about their country. Of course, we have to use each country's official language and follow their cultural norms in making such books. As a result, we high school students would learn about the target country's culture. Learning about their cultures will lead to close cultural understanding and broaden our perspective. Education for girls leads to solutions to global problems.
There are 3 benefits. First, it will reduce the child mortality rate. Thanks to education, they can learn more about child raising, which makes them better mothers. Second, education supports the target country's economic development because educated women can be a powerful labor force. Third, UNESCO says a good education is more likely to give them opportunities to get a stable occupation in the future because simple math skills lead to jobs with a higher income.
Also, education leads to 3 positive effects, both regionally and globally. First, education directly improves farming efficiency. For example, according to a study in Kenya, in areas where men and women receive education equally, the harvest rate is 22% higher than in areas where fewer young women go to school because they can learn about crop technologies and techniques. Second, skilled labor creates higher productivity, causing a country's economic power to improve along with the world economy. Third, the infection rate of serious disease is likely to decrease because they learn to prevent infection.
In conclusion, we want to put our ideas into action so that more girls can get an education. Everyone, think about what you can do. Let's empower women so that they can open the door to a new life. Education is the key to opening up a bright future.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Then let's make up Moriyama Junior and Senior High School Team A and Goshen Municipal Goshen Industrial High School. Please wait